I want to share you with an idea from the Amud Yomi. The Gemara in Berachos stuff, Amud Beis, brings an interesting story with Rebbi Eliezer and Yochanan. Rebbi Eliezer was crying, and Rabbi Yochanan came to him and said, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" And he lists a number of reasons why maybe he's crying. And one of the reasons is, he says, because maybe you didn't learn enough Torah, right? Maybe that's your crying. Says Rashi, Sholamda Lamada Harabek its own class. You didn't learn a lot like you wanted to. And my question was, what? Before that, so the Gemara answers, right? Right? We have a rule in Judaism that it doesn't matter how much you do, as long as you're Shem Shemayim. Rebbi Eliezer wanted to learn a lot of Torah. Why is he allowed to cry? A person's upset. Why is he allowed to cry that he didn't learn what Torah? He wanted to finish all of Shas, Babli, Yushalmi, the Frost, the Free, Shulchan Aruch, Torah, Beis Yosef, Shulchan Aruch, Poskim. Why shouldn't he cry? So this question was really, really bothering me yesterday. I was zeker at night to say a shir to women of Mishlei with the Gra, and on Parak Tesvav Tes Zayin, the Gra says that the goal is not to learn a lot. The goal is not kamis. The goal is achas. The goal is quality, not quality, not quantity. And this is what Rabbi Yochanan meant to Rebbi Eliezer, right? Don't cry because you don't have a lot of quantity, because the main thing is you should be l'shem shamayim, right? And l'shem shamayim is not based on quantity; it's based on quality. The Gra says if you learn for 24 hours straight and 1 minute was l'shem shamayim, that 1 minute is more important than the 23 hours and 59 minutes before. This is what I believe Rabbi Yochanan meant, right? Then continues the Gemara, right? So maybe it's because of Parnasa. Maybe it's because you're not an Ashir, right? Rashi says, the Gemara says, it's Mishum Mizono, says Rashi, you're not an Ashir. So this was also quite baffling, right? An Ashir, because you're not an Ashir, right? It sounds like from Rashi that an Ashir is somebody who has what he needs, okay? And this is actually the Vilna Gaon in the same shir last night, the pasuk before, Toiv le kol yimei ani roimei, Tov le mishitamid. Who is an Ashir? Right? An Ashir is a person who is Sameach B'chelko. Yeah? So, Rav Yochanan was telling Rebbi Eliezer, you don't have to be wealthy in money, right? If you're happy what you had, that's a reason to be joyous, right? So he made it through those first two. But the third one is quite perplexing. The third thing that was actually the answer, although I said, is quite perplexing. Right? Rebbi Eliezer said, you want to know, Rav Yochanan, the reason I'm crying is because of the beauty that will be buried in the ground. The beauty of the buried ground. Rav Yochanan says, Chazal looked like Yaakov Avinu, who looked like Adam Arishon, with incredible beauty. Right? And on that, Rabbi Yochanan says, well, that's a reason to cry. And they both start crying. Beauty is so important. Beauty is such a thing to cry about. Al da v'da kolbochis zevada yesh libcho, says Rashi. What's the deeper meaning here? And we have to know, the beauty of Rabbi Yochanan was not a beauty like Miss Universe, Rahman al-Islam. It wasn't just an outward, hitzonistic of beauty. It was an inner beauty that came from his spiritual shlemus, from his spiritual greatness of Rav Yochanan, right? And the perfection that Adam Rishon had. Adam Rishon was Yigiyas Kapov of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was the serious Kapov of Hashem. That it was created Shem Hashem. That tremendous beauty that Rav Yochanan had, that was going to go into the ground, because really we shouldn't die. The only reason that we die and are buried in the ground and the beauty goes in the ground is because of the fate of Adam Rishon. So says Rav Yochanan, Al da v'da avadi kolbochas. That's reason to cry. And just as we finish off here, the Gemara in Amud Aleph said a story that Rav Yochanan would go around the bone of his 10th son. And Rebbe Lapian said, right, you see, Rav Yochanan used to comfort people with the bone of his 10th son. But at the same time, in Gemara Sanhedrin, Daf Sariches, right, Rav Yochanan says, put me in any generation, but don't put me in the generation of Mashiach. And he asked, how could it be? What's worse than losing 10 children? Says Rav Eli Lapian, it's because of the confusion. People won't know what to do. And I'm sitting here at the Kosa now, and every day I'm hearing different Rabbanim and different Shirim and different people talking. Everybody's saying something different. No one can really put their finger right now on what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us at this very moment. I know if my Rebbi, Reb Gershon Edelstein, was alive, he would be telling people, be nice to your friends. Don't have akpadas, be mafias people. Everything possible to bring us together as one Am. This is what he said in his lifetime. This was the set that he left upon his death, which is printed in many places, right? But he's not here anymore. Nesef Tzaddik, right? The Tzaddik was Nesef before the tribulation of the war came, right? So this is what Rav Eli Lapian says. Rav Yochanan, he could take tension of children dying, but the darkness that we have now, the darkness before dawn, I'm looking up at the sky now, I'm sitting at the Koso, and looking up at the sky, and the dark blackness of the sky is beginning to evolve into blue, which will eventually be the light of dawn, right? And there is a light behind all this darkness, behind this death, behind these hostages, behind all the soldiers who are in grave danger, yeah, behind all the families who are suffering of the hostages, right? There's a light coming from the dawn, and Hashem will send the Yeshua quickly. We should have the Yeshua, and all of Klal Yisrael should be united as one. We should have Achdus, Amen, Kain Teirot.